Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradatta Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai. Shri Amuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, everybody. Alright, so we can sing one kirtan. Any kirtan. If you have a suggestion, let me know. Otherwise, I'll choose something. ঠিক আছে. Okay. Let's see what there is. Let's do... God, there's so few kirtans in this songbook. Avatar Sar. Do that one. And then I'm just seeing if anybody had a special request. Nope. Hey, there's nobody there. It's just me. That's so strange. Usually there's like a bunch of people by now. Oh well. I guess I'm just singing by myself, and I guess somebody will watch it later on in the replay. Okay. Avatar, O minds, why do you not worship Shri Gaurasundar, the essence of all avatars? You always stay in water, but your thirst is never satiated. This is the consequence of your own activities. O minds, you always serve thorn trees with the hope of attaining nectarian fruits. My Gauranga is a wish-fulfilling tree of prem, but you consider him to be poison. O mind, searching for a sweet fragrance, you smell the palasha flower, which has no scent, and an insect has entered your nose. You suck on dry wood, mistaking it for sugarcane. So how can you get any sweetness? O mind, thinking it to be a necklace, You have put around your neck a snake that is the servant of Yama. You basked in fire, thinking it's to be cool, and thus you suffer excruciating heat. O mind, you worship material existence, forgetting Sri Gauranga, and you fail to heed the advice of devotees. You have wasted both this life and the next, and thus you have destroyed your own self. Okay, I'm just going to sing this one time through, not lead in response. Haribol Kishore Krishna Prabhu.
Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga. Avatar sar Gauraya avatar keno na bhajili tare ore nire vas gelo na piya sapana karama fere o kanta kera taru सदाए से विलिमान अमृत पाए बार आशे प्रेम कल्पतरु श्री गौरांग आमार ताहारे भाबिली विषे सौरभे राशे पलाश शुकिलिमान नासाते पोशिलो कीटा इखुदंड भाबी खाट चुशिलिमान के मोने पाई भी मीठा हार बोलिया गलाय पोरिलिमान शमन किंकर साप शीतल बोलिया आगुन पोहालिमान पाइली बजर ताप संसार भजिली श्री गौरांग भूलिली न सुनिली साधुर कथा इह परकाल दुकाल खो आलिमान खाइली आपन माथा खाइली आपन माता अवतार सार गौरय अवतार केनो न भजिली तारे जय हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल Is that Srila Bhakti Bhagavad Puri Gosai Maharaj's Caitanya-bhāgavata? Yeah? Is it complete? Is it from beginning to end?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's only English though.
Yeah, only English. All right, so I guess we can do the Mangala. The I should have sung the song. How does it go? Nitai Gora Nam Anandera Dham Jai Jana Nahi Loy Tare Yam Tare Jama Rai Tore Loy Jai, because it has what it. Yesterday, our whole topic, like the most of our reading yesterday was about uh, how necessary it is to wear tilak. And there's a song by Lochandas Thakur where he also gets into that. Look, he says, so Tulasir har na pore je char jama loye vasatar tilak dharan na kore je jan brithai janamatar. The contemptible person who does not wear a necklace of tulsi beads has a residence in the abode of Yam. And the person who never wears tilak has a life that goes in vain. Yeah.
In
All
the
right. So
Garga,
let's. Huh?
in the Garga
What's that?
Samhita, in the Garga
Yeah.
Samhita, it says that and a sinner that wears Gopi Chandan Tilak every day will attain Krishna's abode.
Nice. Did you hear the reading yesterday?
I just saw the discussion because I came
Oh, at
back
the end.
yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, because there was this one Gaudiya Bhashya, and it went on for like probably, I don't know, half of the reading or something like that. It was a very long Gaudiya Bhashya where he's giving verse after verse after verse after verse, from all different places about how important it is to wear tilak. And yeah, that was like the ultimate tilak masterclass.
Yeah, in the Garga Samhita, there's a story about this king who was a wicked king who would go and hunt animals and who was very duplicitous and very envious. And then one day his minister killed him in the forest to get his money. And the Yamaduta, seeing that he was on the floor or dead, they took their opportunity to get him and they took him to Yamaraj. And then Yamaraj, he had Chandragupta to read out all his records,
Yeah.
read his records, and they said this
Chitragupta.
guy, yeah, Chitragupta, and they said this was a very sinful king. He killed hundreds of thousands of deers in the forest. He murdered brahmanas. He killed 10 pregnant women. He accidentally killed a brown cow. This guy offended the demigods. And Yamaraj said, what should be his punishment? He should be thrown into as many hells as long as the sun and moon shine in the sky. And then he was put into kumbhipaka in a thing of boiling oil.
Yeah.
But the boiling oil had an opposite effect. It was cooling. And Yamaraj was wondering what's going on. The pot is having a cooling effect. And he couldn't understand. And then Vyasadeva appeared here in Yamapuri. And Yamaraj got up, offered obeisances to Vyasadeva, worshipped him, and then asked him, O Muni, I want to ask you about a certain thing. And Vyasadeva said, yes, tell me. And there was one person who committed so many sins, and then he listed them all. And they said, but when he went into the boiling oil, it became cool, just like Prahlad Maharaj. Maharaj went into boiling oil and became cool. And Vyasadeva said, yes, the scriptures are very difficult to understand, and only persons such as I and other rishis can reveal it. You see, when this sinful king died, right, there was a piece of Gopi Chanda, someone left a piece of Gopi Chanda near him. And because of the Gopi Chandan touched his body, Adi, the king became all his sinful reactions were destroyed. And then Yamaraj, who is Dharmaraj, who understands the glories of Gopi Chandan, heard the matter and then called for an airplane from Vaikunta to come and take him.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm
All
feeling
written
really
in
good
Garga
about this
Samhita.
tilak right now.
All written in Garga Samhita.
Wow, that's great. So, why would anybody not put on tilak after hearing that?
It's called the
Okay.
Gopi Chandan Mahatmya.
Wow, very cool. Wow, there's so much, and I thought there couldn't be possibly anything more about tilak after all the reading yesterday, but there's even another story. So there's the glories of tilak and Gopi Chandan is endless. Wow.
More
Okay,
sacred.
so yes.
Gopi Chandan is more sacred than the mud of the Ganga and more sacred than the dust of Chitrakoot.
Wow, Jayo. Okay, so we'll do the Mangala Charan, and then we'll. I have two commentaries I wasn't able to get to yesterday, so we'll read that. Okay. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjanashalaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujao kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastri Kala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Śrī Krishna Caitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Shadbhujo Bahudha Bhakti Rasa Bhinartaka Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Adya Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Goshtir Charane Ashesha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhar. Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtaka Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore mora loko shuno Caitanya mangal, Caitanya mahima jate jani beshaka. Krishna lila bhagavate kohe Veda Vyas, Caitanya lila Vyas Vrindavana das. Vrindavana das koilo Caitanya mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal. Caitanya Nitar Jate Janiye Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Dekhiyachen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar. Caitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Tatakhan, Amanushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Bhakta Shri Caitanya, Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar. Aiche Granta Korite ho Tarila Sansar, Narayani Caitanya Ruchishta Bhajan, Tar Garbe Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan, Tar ki Arbhuta Caitanya Charita Varnan, Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan, Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 4-5. Asahaje Vichitra Madhur Caitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amriter Dhar, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amriter Dhar. By the nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya commentary of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Champak Didi and Yardi Sakuruna Didi. Not many people on YouTube today. Only 2 people. All right, so let's begin. Okay, so I'm reading the, what is it called? The Kathasar by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. When he was a brahmachari, Pranavananda brahmachari. This chapter mainly describes the marriage pastimes of Śrī Viṣṇupriyā. Nimai Pandit regularly taught his students in the Chandi Mandap situated in the courtyard of Mukunda Sanjay. If the Lord, who is the protector of Sanatan Dharma, found any student without tilak on his forehead, he would embarrass him to such an extent that the student would never return to study without tilak. The Lord would say, "The forehead of a Brahmin that is not decorated with tilak is as good as the crematorium." This is the injunction of the scriptures. Whenever the Lord saw his students without tilak, he told them that they have certainly not performed their morning rituals. Saying this, the Lord again sent them home. When the students returned after duly marking their bodies with tilak, then they were eligible to study with the Lord. Nimai Pandit joked with and teased everyone. He particularly made fun of the Śrī Hatta residents' pronunciation of words. The Lord, however, never laughed or joked with any women. As soon as he saw a woman on the road, he immediately came to the side or gave way. Conjugal activities as exhibited in the pastimes of Krishna Chandra in this world were not displayed during the appearance of Gaur. That is why the Mahajans and their followers, who know the science of Gaur Krishna, never address Gaurasundar as Nadia Nagar, or the the amorous hero of Nadia, after the style of Krishna, who is the personification of conjugal mellows. Simply by studying with the Lord for and that was interesting. It was Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur himself was writing about against Gaur. He even used the words Gaura Nagar, and was saying how it was bogus. So, and there are lots of Gauranga Nagaris even today. There's that devotee, what's his name? Gadadhar Pran. He's a full-on Gauranga Nagari. But Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is directly, so does that, I'm curious, does that mean that the Gauranga Nagaris, they don't accept Chaitanya-bhāgavata? Because it's not even just our recent acharyas that are saying this. Vrindavan Das Thakur himself is saying it. Anyways. Simply by studying the Lord for 1 year, the students became expert in scriptural conclusions. Meanwhile, Sachimata, being anxious to marry her son for the 2nd time, had Kashinath Mishra arrange the marriage of Nimai with the supremely devoted daughter of Raj Pandit Sanatan Mishra of Navadvip. An intelligent aristocrat named Buddhimanta Khan. His name also means intelligence. So that Buddhimanta Khan personally agreed to bear the entire expense, all the expenses for the Lord's marriage. On an auspicious day at an auspicious time, the festival of Adivas, or the appropriate rituals to be performed the day before the marriage, were performed with great pomp. Riding on a palanquin, the Lord arrived at the house of the Raja Pandit at the auspicious time of dusk. All the Vedic and social rituals were performed, and the marriage pastimes of Viṣṇupriyā and Gaur, who are non-different from Lakshmi Narayan, they were completed with great splendor. With a desire to please Lord Vishnu, Sanatan Mishra offered his dearmost daughter in the hands of the Lord, and then also gave various gifts to his son-in-law. The next afternoon, sitting on a palanquin with Viṣṇupriyā Devi, the Lord returned home. Amidst there's a typo here. Amidst a continuous shower of flowers and the accompaniment of song, dance, and music. When Lakshmi Narayan were seated inside the house, the entire universe began to glorify them. If a living entity hears the eternal marriage pastimes of Lakshmi Narayan, then he is cleansed of the desire for conjugal happiness that joins together male and female in this material world as enjoyer and object of enjoyment. Wow, so this is good brahmachari katha. At that time, his good intelligence is awakened, and he understands that Lord Narayan alone is the enjoyer of the entire universe. When the Lord mercifully embraced Buddhimanta Khan, the happiness in his heart knew no bounds. Oh, Kishore Krishna is asking, who is Gadadhar Pran? He's heard his name many times. He's I think he was before a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and then he took initiation from Lalit Prasad, and he has a big fancy place for a long time. Like I always hear devotees talking about how amazing it is, but like on the bank of the Ganga, this like really huge, amazing place, and he's totally total Gauranga Nagari. Yeah. Okay, so we are verse 33. Okay, let's go to verse 33. Oh no, and there were a couple commentaries that we didn't read, so let's go there. This one and this one we didn't read. Okay, so let's read more on this topic. On Gauranga Nagari. I love this, how the Lord kept on making fun of the people from Srihata, and in anger they responded. Wait, let's just read this part. Okay, so after after the Lord, was telling them about doing their Sandhya Vandana, he said, "Go back home and perform your morning duties, then you may return to study." The boy who didn't wear tilak, he embarrassed him so badly that and Nimai sent him back home to put on tilak and do his Sandhya Vandan. In this way, all the Lord's students were conscientious about performing their religious duties. Like this, the Lord jokingly found fault with everyone. No one was spared from the Lord's teasing remarks. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, however, never joked with others' wives. As soon as he saw a woman coming, he would immediately give her ample room to pass without talking. The Lord particularly teased the residents of Śrī Hatta by mimicking their pronunciation. In anger, they responded, "Oi, where are you from? Tell us the truth." Because Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata were both came from Śrī Hatta. So Mahaprabhu is a descendant from Śrī Hatta. "Tell us, aren't your parents and forefathers born in Śrī Hatta? You yourself are born as a son of a resident of Śrī Hatta, so why then do you tease us?" The Lord did not heed whatever they said. Rather, he would continue to mimic their pronunciation and their manner of speaking. He would continue to tease the residents of Śrī Hatta until they became furious. Eventually, one of them would chase the Lord in great anger. Being unable to catch him, however, he was frustrated and began abusing the Lord with harsh words. Sometimes someone caught the Lord by his dhoti and took him to the local Muslim authority to register a complaint. Ultimately, the Lord's friends would come and negotiate a settlement. On another day, the Lord secretly waited outside the house of a resident of Śrī Hatta. As soon as he got an opportunity, he entered the house, broke some dry gourds, and then ran away in fear. In this way, the Lord created mischief for everyone. But he did not even look at women from the corner of his eyes. Not even from the corner of his eyes. It is well known throughout the world that the Lord in this incarnation did not even hear the word woman. Okay. Yeah, these are the two things. Okay, so let's read this Gaudiya Bhashya. Gaudiya Bhashya by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. We didn't have time to read this yesterday. In his pastime as a devotee of Hari, Gaurasundar never discussed any topic about mundane women. After totally condemning the association of women and the association of persons who associate with women, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, which is the ripened fruits of the Vedic desire tree and the king of all scriptures, so Śrīmad Bhagavatam has established such association as unfavorable to non-duplicious service to the Lord. How does the verse go? Oh God, I memorized it at one point, but I forgot it. Anyhow, one should refer to the elaborate purports on Ādi-khaṇḍa 1:29. Wherever the enjoying mentality of the living entities is engaged in enjoying women, it is to be understood that there is a lack of service attitude towards Krishna, the husband of all women. If anyone came before Gaurasundar to discuss or bring up worldly topics about women, he would immediately and specifically forbid them. On the pretext of studying mundane literature that is contrary to the service of Krishna, and with the desire to drink the ras of dry literature that is devoid of the ras of devotional service to Krishna, the hearts of the living entities that are accustomed to drinking worldly rasas become maddened for sense enjoyment in such a way that the Supreme Lord Gaurasundar, who is the bestower of the mellows of devotional service to Krishna, along with the sampradayas of his pure devotee Mahajans, never support such deviation. Those who have properly discussed the topics of Śrī Caitanya-dev know very well that he never supported indulgence in any worldly topics about women. Ramani jana sanga sukam chastake. Charame bhayadam. What is it? Charame bhayadam. Sarva something haram. Yeah, anyways, it's Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And see, look, this is what I was talking about. Vrindavan Das Thakur specifically mentions that Gauranga Nagar. He no stava nahi bole. Therefore, great personalities do not offer prayers addressing Lord Gauranga as Gauranga Nagar, the enjoyer of damsels. Although all kinds of prayers may be offered to the Supreme Lord, intelligent persons glorify only those characteristics that a particular incarnation manifests. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuntha enjoyed his scholastic pastimes in the house of Mukunda Sanjay. Okay, so we'll read this commentary. That is why the sampradayas of Mahajans, who are eternally perfect associates of the Lord and always engaged in glorifying the Lord, as well as their non-duplicitous followers, who sing and recite the glories of the Lord, never in any way illicitly address, or will address Śrī Gauranga Mahaprabhu as Nagar, the enjoyer of conjugal pastimes. I actually, for Radhashtami, there's a beautiful kirtan about the birth of Radharani, the birth lila. It was actually, it was such a beautiful kirtan. It was all about how Mahaprabhu and all different associates of Mahaprabhu, it was their celebration of Radhashtami. And we translated it, but then at the very last verse, it said Gauranga Nagar. We got it from the ISKCON songbook, but I guess they didn't carefully check it, and then we're like, oh my god, we can't use this, and so then we didn't end up sharing it, even though it was such a fun song. Anyways, Shri Gaurasundar is himself Shri Vrajendranandan, the only enjoyer of all women in both the material and spiritual kingdoms. Yet there is no basis for glorifying Krishna as Nagar in his Gaur pastimes, as such actions are extremely contrary to the proper conclusions of serving Gaur Krishna. Vrajendranandan Krishna, whose Gopi Janavallabha, is the personification of conjugal affairs. The Gaur pastimes of Krishna are by nature in the mood of vipralamba, or separation. Therefore, no intelligent, non-duplicitous devotee of Gaur will try to disturb the Lord's mood as Narayan, the Lord of Vaikuntha, who in his beginning pastimes as a scholar is the worshipable Lord of all his students, who are under the shelter of regulative devotional service. Or disturb his mood of Mahabhav, which consists of his desire to please Krishna and which manifested in the mood of separation after his pastime of taking initiation, as described in his middle and final pastimes, in the Madhya and Antya Khandas. In other words, they do not designate him as the imaginary hero of conjugal mellows. The foolish, unfortunate sampradayas who are fond of illicitly enjoying others' wives, and who are under the control of worldly propensities, they actively endeavor to designate Gaurasundar and both his male and female devotees as enjoyers and enjoyed, and thus they reveal their own poor fund of knowledge and evil-mindedness. Considering that the Lord engaged in hearing and chanting worldly topics in his pastimes as an acharya is extremely contrary to his nature in preaching. Rather, just as the enchantment of transcendental conjugal pastimes is eternally present in the pastimes of Krishna, the transcendental vipralambaras, instead of conjugal ras, is eternally present in the pastimes of Gaur. By the association of women, or by seeing mundane women, perverted mellows are awakened. And as a result, the most relishable spiritual ras, which is beyond material consciousness, does not appear in the pure illuminated heart. It's a beautiful verse by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What is it? Jada kavya raso nahi kavya rasa. Kalipavana gora raso hi rasa. Alam, what is it? Alam. Anyways, yeah, it's a really beautiful verse from Godrum Chandra Bhajan Upadesh saying the same thing. Considering that the Lord engaged in hearing and chanting worldly topics. Oh, sorry, I already read that. Okay. So, by the association of women or by seeing mundane women. Okay. The activities of material enjoyment, which are opposed to spiritual ras, capture the conditioned soul's hearts, which are filled with ignorance. All these topics are glorified by greatly praised wise men who know the science of Krishna. In other words, they are glorified by sober, intelligent worshippers of the Lord. If one wants to elaborately and conclusively know discuss, or consider these subjects, which are in full agreement with the statements of Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru, then he should read the spiritual weekly magazine Gaudiya, 5th year, number 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, and 24. He left out 22. Okay. We're reading from 33, yes, okay. Great. Okay, so that's where we read up to yesterday. Chaturdike shobe shishya ganer mandali madhye parayena prabhu mahakutuhali. The Lord happily taught while sitting amidst various groups of his students. Oh, 1 second, I need to take my Ayurvedic medicine. Let me just do that right now. Sorry, I'm going to be doing this every day, actually. It's supposed to take some medicine, then wait half an hour, eat something, and then wait another half an hour, and then take this stuff. I also have to use the bathroom. Maybe, do you mind? This is just a little break, because then...
Go ahead.
Then I don't need to interrupt in the middle. Okay. Okay, I am back. Hey, thanks for waiting. Yes, there it is. Jada kavya raso nahi kavya rasa kalipavana gora raso hi rasa alamanya kata danushila naya bhajagodrumakana nakunja vidum. Beautiful verse by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, and the taste of mundane poetry does not afford the sweet taste of actual poetry. The sweet mellows of true poetry are found in descriptions of Lord Chaitanya, the savior of all souls in the Kali Yuga. Enough with the study of any other topics. Just worship Lord Gaur, the moon of Godrum's forest bowers. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so... Chaturdike shobe shishya ganer mandali madhye porayen prabhu mahakutuhali. The Lord happily taught while sitting amidst various groups of his students. Oh, Hare Krishna, Sudevi Didi, and Govinda Saha. Haribo. Vishnu toilo shire dite ache kon dase. Ashisha prakare vyakhya kore nijarase. Sometimes, when the need arose, The Lord had a servant massage his head with medicated oil while he continued giving his unique explanations. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. In his auspicious invocation to Vidagdha Madhav, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained Mahaprabhu's Nija Ras as follows. His own ras is Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Vatirna Kalo Samarpayitum Unatto Jvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam. He has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant spiritual knowledge of the mellow taste of his service. And it says Ujjala-ras. So the conjugal mellow. Topmost, the highest, Unata, Ujjvala, brilliant, and rasa. That's Ujjvala rasa's conjugal mellow, Swabhakti Shriyam. And my Guru would explain this in a very unique way, because we see all these verses talking about what is the Shriyam of his own bhakti. We hear in these verses, Radhikara Prema Lata. Anyways, the verse that Srimati Radhika is like a vine, and all the flowers, twigs, and leaves on it beautify that vine, and those are the sakis and the manjaris like that. And so the beauty is this mood of the manjaris, like we hear in that verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he has appeared to give that thing. Or the phrase Nija Rase may also mean according to his own confidential mood, or in his own pleasure or sport. Another reading for Nija Rase is Nija Veshe, which means in his own mood. In his own mood. I wonder if the word here is like Keli Vilas or something like that. I don't know, you'd have to see. Anyways, I'm not going to check now. Ushakala hoite dui prahar avadhi Poraya ganga snane chale guna nidhi. The Lord, who is the reservoir of transcendental qualities, would teach from early morning till noon. Then he would go for bath in the Ganga. Nishar o ardik e mata pratidine porayena chintayena sabare apane. In this way, the Lord regularly taught and studied up till midnight. Whoa, he taught and studied up till midnight every day. Ataeva prabhustane varsheka poriya pandita hoyen sabe siddhanta janiya. Therefore, whoever studied under the Lord for 1 year would become a learned scholar who understood the conclusions of the scriptures. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahaprabhu Gaurasundar alone is the crest jewel of instructors on the Sat Siddhanta, or the ultimate conclusions. He has sanctioned all proper conclusions regarding the basis of devotional service to the Lord. Moreover, he has made these topmost conclusions easily accessible to everyone, including the sinful. Corresponding with his threefold introduction to proper conclusions, Srila Sanatana Goswami has become Bhakti Siddhanta Acharya. Sanatana Goswami is the Acharya on the conclusions of devotional service. And Srila Rupa Goswami has become the Abhideya Acharya. He's the Acharya for the process for achieving the goal of life. And Sri Jiva Goswami's nourishment of those conclusions have become worshipable by all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The confidential process of bhajan based on all proper conclusions that was followed by Sri Das Goswami, the staunch follower of Sri Rupa, the topmost Rupanuga, is the devotee's original creeper of Vrindavan devotion. Those who had the opportunity to hear proper conclusions from the Lord for even 1 year could never be distracted from the service of Adhokshaj by material knowledge. Wow, very interesting Gaudiya Bhashya. Okay. This seems like something really deep that we need to get into more, but I'm going to just move on. Okay. He no mate vidyara se achen ishvar, vivahir karja shachi chinte nirantar. As the Lord thus enjoyed scholastic pastimes, Mother Shachi continually meditated on getting her son remarried. Sarvanava dvipe Shachi niravadhi mane, putrer sadrisha kanya chahe anukhane. Mother Shachi constantly searched throughout Navadvip for a suitable bride for her son. She Navadvipe Vaishe Mahabhagyavan, Dayashila Swabhava Śrī Sanatan Nam. In Navadvip, there resided one most fortunate and compassionate devotee named Śrī Sanatan Mishra. Akaitava Udara Parama Vishnu Bhakta, Atiti Sevana Para Upakare Rata, Satyavagi Jitendriya Mahavangsha Jata, Padavi Raja Pandita Sarvatra Vikhyata, Vyavahare O Parama Sampanna Ekajan, Anayase Anekere Koren Poshan. This Sanatan Mishra, who's the father of Viṣṇupriyā, he was simple-hearted, magnanimous, expert in entertaining guests, and always engaged in welfare activities. Moreover, he was truthful, he controlled his senses, he had a good birth, and he was famous as the Raja Pandit. So he was the king's best Pandit, right? I think that's what it is. Sanatan Mishra hailed from a well-to-do family, so he easily maintained many other people. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word akaitav means straightforward, simplicity, uncruel, without kaitav, without any duplicity, crookedness, or cunning. Means non-duplicitous, straightforward, sincere, like that. The word udar means charitable, great, advanced, peaceful, compassionate, sincere, steady, or grave. I'm used to hearing it translated as generous. The kind-hearted Sanatan Mishra was decorated with many transcendental qualities. He did not know of duplicity. Rather, he was a great Vaishnav. He was expert in serving guests, dedicated to helping others. He was attached to speaking the truth, dedicated to controlling the senses, and born in a highly aristocratic family. He was famous throughout Navadvip as the Raja Pandit. Even in the ordinary worldly or social field, he was a greatly wealthy, prosperous person. Therefore, he could easily nourish and maintain many people. At present, some duplicitous, sinful persons say that they do not care for the truthful, simple, magnanimous, and logical persons like Sanatan Mishra. In other words, they are not afraid of speaking lies, of cheating, hoarding, and committing injustice. Therefore, they can never become prominent in this ordinary world. Sanatan Mishra, however, was not only situated in the topmost social position, but he was also decorated with many transcendental qualities. Tar 44. Tar kanya achen paramasucharita, murtimati lakshmi pray she jagan mata. Sanatan Mishra's daughter had all auspicious characteristics. She was like the personification of Lakshmi, the mother of the universe. Shachi Devi tare dekhilen je khane, e kanya putra jogya bhujilen mone. As soon as Mother Shachi saw her, she immediately thought that she was a suitable bride for her son. Shishu hoite duitin শিশু হইতে 2-3 বার গঙ্গা স্নান, পিতৃমাতৃ Vishnu bhakti bine nahi ano. From her childhood, that girl took bath in the Ganga 2 or 3 times a day. She had no engagement other than serving her father, mother, and Lord Vishnu. Aire dekhiya ghate pratidine dine, namra hoy namaskar koren charane. She regularly met and offered her humble obeisances to Mother Shachi at the Ganga bathing ghat. Ai o koren mahaprite ashirvad, Jogyapati Krishna tomar karuna prasad. Mother Shachi happily blessed her. May Krishna bless you with a suitable husband. Ganga snane ai mone koren kamana, ei kanya amar putre hok ghatana. Then, as Mother Shachi took her bath, she thought, may this girl be married with my son. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ghatana means arrangement for marriage, or in other words, organization, assembly, or combination. Raja panditer icha sarva ghoshti sane, prabhure korite kanya dana nijamane. Sanatan Mishra and his relatives also desired that she be married to the Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase sarva ghoshti sane means along with all his paternal and maternal relatives. Daibe shachi kashinata panditere ani, bolilen are bap shuno ekabani. One day, Shachi was inspired to call Kashinath Pandit to her home. Thereupon she said to him, Dear sir, please listen to my request. Gaudiya Bhashya. Kashinath Pandit, the matchmaker resident of Navadvip, was a crest jewel amongst Brahmanas. In Krishna's pastimes, he was the Brahman sent to Krishna with a proposal for his marriage with Satyabhama. In the Gaur Ganadashtipika, verse 50, it is stated, the Brahmana named Kulaka, whom Maharaj Satyajit sent to Lord Madhav to arrange the Lord's marriage with Satyabhama, appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as Śrī Kashinath. Raja panditera koho icha thake jana, amar putrere karuna kanya dan. Go, Sachimata said to Kashinath, go tell Sanatan Mishra that if he desires, he may give his daughter to my son. Kashinata pandita chalila she khane, Durga Krishna boli Raja pandita bhavane. Kashinath Pandit immediately left for the house of Sanatan Mishra while chanting the names of Durga and Krishna. Interesting. Kashinate, it's an interesting mix, huh? Kashinate dekhi Raja Pandita apane, bosite asana ani dilen sambhrame. Seeing Kashinath, Sanatan Mishra respectfully offered him an asan. Parama Gaurave nidhi kore jato chitta, ki karja aila bhai jigyase pandita. Feeling greatly honored, Sanatan Mishra completed all formalities and inquired, Dear brother, what brings you here? What brings you here? Gaudiya Bhashya, the first line of this verse indicates that proper respect with great care and reverence was shown. Parama Gaurave nidhi kore jato chitta. Kashinata bolen achaye eka katha, chitta loy jodi tabe koroho sarvatha. Kashinath replied, I have a proposal for you. If you find it proper, then please accept it. Vishwambar panditere tomar duhita, Dana koro e sambandha uchit sarvata. Please give your daughter's hand in marriage to Vishvambar Pandit. I feel it is a perfect match. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word sambandha means the marriage proposal, the arrangement for marriage, gathering or organizing, family members, or relatives. Tomar kanyar jogya she divyapati, tahar uchita e kanya mahasati. He is a qualified husband for your daughter, and your chaste daughter is a qualified wife for him. Jayano Krishna Rukmini te anyonya uchit, she mata Viṣṇupriyā nimai pandita. Viṣṇupriyā and Nimai Pandit are as suitable a match as Krishna and Rukmini were. Shuni Vipra Patni Adi Aptavarga Sahe, Lahila Korite Jukti Dekhi ke ki kohe. After hearing the proposal, Sanatan Mishra discussed it with his wife and relatives to find out their opinion. Shobe bolilen ar ki karja vichare, sarvata e karma giya koroho satvare. They replied, "What is the need for further discussion? You should immediately arrange the marriage." Tabe Raja Pandita hoiya harshamati, bolilen Kashinata Panditera prati. The Raj Pandit then happily spoke to Kashinath Pandit. Vishvambara Panditer kore kanyadan, koribo sarvata vipra ite nahi anu. O Brahmana, I will certainly give my daughter in marriage to Vishvambar Pandit. Bhagya thake jodi sarva vangsher amar, tabe heno susambandha hoibe kanyar. If my family is fortunate, then my daughter will be married to him. Chalo tumi tatha jai koho sarva katha, ami puna dodailu koribo sarvatha. So please go there and inform them of my decision. I again confirm that I have accepted the proposal. Shuniya santoshe Kashinata Mishra bar, shakala kohilo asi shachir kochar. Feeling satisfied, Kashinath Mishra returned to Mother Shachi and told her everything. Karja siddhi shuni ai santosha hoila, shakala udyog tabe korite lagila. Mother Shachi was pleased to hear that her proposal was accepted, and she began to make the necessary arrangements. Prabhur vivaha shuni sarva shishyagan, shabe hoila ati paramanandaman. When the Lord's students heard news of his marriage arrangement, they were all filled with joy. Prathame balila buddhi manta mahashay, mor bhar e vivahe jato lage byay. Buddhimanta Khan was the first to speak. I will bear the entire expenditure of this marriage. Gaudiya Bhashya. Buddhimanta Khan was the Lord's neighbor and a staunch, rich, devoted Brahmin follower of the Lord. A description of Buddhimanta Khan is found in Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi-lila, chapter 10, verse 74, as follows. The 36th branch, Buddhimanta Khan, was extremely dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was always prepared to carry out the Lord's orders, and therefore he was considered a chief servant of the Lord. One should also refer to Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 12, verse 72. When the Lord married for the second time with Viṣṇupriyā Devi, he stayed with the groom throughout the marriage ceremony, and he bore the entire expense of the marriage. This is explained in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 15, verses 69 71, 137, 145, and 220, which we're going to be reading now. His participation in the Lord's Sankirtan at the houses of Srivas Pandit and Chandrasekhar is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 8, verses 111 to 113. His participation in water sports with the Lord and his associates after the deliverance of Jagai and Madhai is described in Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 13, verses 334 to 336. His receiving the responsibility for arranging clothing and ornaments for the Lord when he enacted the pastimes of Mahalakshmi at the house of Chandrasekhar is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 18, verses 7, 13, 14, and 16. His meeting with the Lord at Shantipur is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 3, verse 154. His traveling with the devotees of Bengal to meet the Lord in Puri is described in the Ādi-khaṇḍa chapter 8, verse 30. Ajanma Chaitanya Agya Jahara Vishai. Means throughout his life, his only asset was Lord Chaitanya's instructions. And also in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila chapter 10, verses 10 and 121. The word bhar means responsibility or heaviness. The word lage means requirement or need. I'll take the whole burden of the whole responsibility for the for the marriage celebrations upon myself. Mukunda Sanjaya bole shuno shaka bhai, tomar shakalo bhar mor kichu nai. Mukunda Sanjaya then said, "Listen, my dear friends, if you bear all expenses, then what will I do? Mor kichu nai? I don't have anything? I won't have anything?" Buddhimanta Khan bole shuno sakha bhai, Vamaniya sajja e vivahe kichu nai. Buddhimanta Khan replied, "Listen, my dear brother, this marriage will not be like a Brahman's marriage, which is generally very simple." Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Vamaniya sajja refers to a poor Brahman's marriage, which is an ordinary arrangement without luxury or pomp. It's small and suitable for the poor. The words kichunai means there will be nothing, not even a hint or scent. Won't be anything like a normal Brahmana's, poor Brahmana's marriage. E vivaha pandite. Okay, just checking. I got a notification about my internet. Okay. E vivaha panditer korai boheno, Raja kumarer mata loke dekhe jeno. I will make such arrangements for the marriage of Nimai Pandit that he will appear like a prince in the eyes of the people. Tabe shabe mili shubha dina shubha khane, Adivasa lagna korilen harshamane. Thereafter, everyone agreed on an auspicious day and time to observe the Adivas ceremony. Gaudiya Bhashya. For a description of Adivas lagna, one should refer to the purport of Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 10, verse 80. Boro boro chandra tapa shaba tangaiya, Chaturdike ruilena korali aniya. A huge pandal was erected with banana trees placed in the four directions. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ruilen is the singular past tense of the verb roa. The verb roa is a local corruption of ropan, which comes from the Sanskrit verb ruha, which means planted. The word chandratap, which is chandra plus atta, gaman, or movement, and pa, to protect. So this chandrata pa that refers to that which protects people below from the movements or from the coming or falling of the moon rays, and therefore, in a broader sense, from the sun rays also. It is also called Chandoa, Samiyana, or Mandap, a canopy, awning, or pandal. Whoa, that was all for. That was. Oh no, Chandratap. Huh, interesting. Okay, the word Tangaiya, a local word, means it's the infinite or participle verbs tanana, tanana, and tangana. So that word Tangaiya, they're derived from the Sanskrit word tan, to spread, which means to put up or tie up. Okay, so a huge pandal was tied up, put up, it's erected. Apurna ghata deepa dhanya dadhi amra sar jatika mangala dravya achaye prachar. They decorated the marriage arena with water pots, ghee lamps, rice paddy, yogurt, mango leaves, and other auspicious items. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word amrasar refers to the leaves and twigs of a mango tree. Shakala ekatre ani kori samuchay sarvabhumi kori len ali panamoy. They further decorated the arena with designs drawn with colored powders. There was a really cool Gaudiya Bhashya on this colored powders thing. I forgot. I wanted to save it, but I forgot to save it. The word alipana, from the Sanskrit word alimpana, refers to marking or drawing various designs with rice powder on either the floor or walls of one's house or a temple. It is called in common language alapana, or alipana. The phrase samuchai kori means accumulating, collecting, counting, or amassing. Jatika Vaishnava ar Jatika Brahmana Navadipe Achaye Jatika Susajjanam Sabare Nimantrana Korila Shakale Adivase Goa Asi Kaiba Vikale. All the Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, and respectable people of Navadip were invited. Come in the afternoon and chew the pan of the Adivas ceremony. Gaudiya Bhashya. In this case, the word Vaishnav refers to those devotees of the Lord who are properly behaved, attached to worshipping Vishnu, and who are born in seminal and non-seminal Brahmin families. In this case, the word Brahmana refers to persons who are born in seminal Brahmin families. The word Guya, an abbreviated corruption of the Sanskrit word guvaka, spices, generally refers to betel nuts, but in this case, it refers to pan leaves and spices. Aparahna kala matra hoilo asiya, pada asi korite lagilo bhajaniya. In the afternoon, on the day of Adivas, the musicians all began to play their instruments. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bhajaniya comes from bhajan or bhajan, which are corruptions of the Sanskrit word badan. It refers to an actor or a person who plays musical instruments. The Bhashya, referring to the drawing the patterns with colored sand, Kishore said that the Bhashya that I was referring to said that by making different drawings in front of the deity, you can attain various benefits, like heaven or Vaikuntha. That's the bhashya from the previous chapters. Yeah, that was so cool. I want to find that again. I meant to put that, to separate that. Okay, so in the afternoon on the day of the Adivas, the musicians all began to play their instruments. Mridanga Shanai Jaya Dhaka Karatal Nana Vida Vadya Dvani Utilo Vishal. The playing of various instruments like mridanga, shanai, jayadhaka, and karatals created a tumultuous sound. Bhattagane porite lagilo raivar, pativrata gane kore jai jaikar. The professional blessers began to recite prayers, and the chaste women made auspicious sounds. Gaudiya Bhashya. For an explanation of the word raivar, one should refer to the purport of Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 8, verse 11. Regarding the word Jai Jaikar, even today in East Bengal, the ulu dhoni, the sound Bengali women make while vibrating their tongues, is known as jokar or jaikar in the local language. Everybody knows the ulu dhwani? Vipragane lagilo korite vedadvani madhe asi boshila dvijendra kulamani. As the Brahmanas chanted Vedic mantras, Vishvambar, the crest jewel of the Brahmanas, came and sat in their midst. Chaturdike boshilen Brahmana mandali Shabe hoila chitte mahakutuhali. The Brahmanas sat in groups around the Lord, and in this way everyone was overjoyed at heart. Tabe gandha chandana tambula divya mala Brahmana ganer shabe divare anila. Aguru, sandalwood paste, pan, and flower garlands were brought out and offered to the Brahmanas. Shire mala sarvayange lepila chandane ekabata tambula sheden eko jane. Garlands were placed on their heads, their bodies were smeared with sandalwood paste, and each Brahmana was given a box of pan. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bata refers to a container or box for keeping pan. Viprakula nadiya viprer antanai koto jai koto aise abadi napai. Nadia was full of Brahmanas' families, so innumerable Brahmanas were present there. No one could count how many came and went. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Viprakul means full of caste Brahmanas. Tati made lobhishta aneka jana ache ekabar loya punak ar kacha kache. Among them, some greedy Brahmanas received their gifts and then returned a second time in a different dress to again receive gifts. Tricky Brahmanas. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Tati Madhye, used in ancient Bengali, means among them. The word lobhishta, lobha means greed, to indicate excessive, ishta, desired. So that means extremely greedy. They would change their clothes so they can get seconds. Arbar ashi mahaloker gohale chandana guvaka mala niya chole. In the ensuing commotion, they thus received sandalwood paste, pan, and flower garlands a second time. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word gahane derives from the word gahana, which is a form of the Sanskrit verb ga, intense, means crowded, full of people, large gathering. The word gola is derived from gahane. loke. In the ensuing commotion, they thus receive sandalwood paste, blah, blah, blah. Sabe anande matta ke kahare chine, Prabhu o hasiya agya korila apane. Everyone was intoxicated with ecstasy, and thus unable to recognize one another. The Lord also smiled and gave instruction. Sabare chandana mala dehotin bar, Chinta nahi vyaya koro je icha jahan, Ek bar niya je loy ar bar, Agyaya tahara kori len pratikar. Pache ke ho chiniya viprere manda bole, Paramarte dosha hoy shatya kori nile. Give sandalwood paste and garlands 3 times to everyone. Do not worry about the expenditure. Give freely to everyone. By this instruction, the Lord indirectly forbade everyone from taking again and again. And the Lord continued, if a Brahmin is caught cheating, he'll be criticized and thus disgraced. Gaudiya Bhashya. The most magnanimous Śrī Gaurasundar gave instructions to give the Brahmanas pan, betel nuts, garlands, and sandalwood paste 3 times, so that those Brahmins who had once received pan, betel nuts, garlands, and sandalwood, and came back again in different dress to receive these items again, that they would be satisfied and all their desires would be fulfilled, and so that unscrupulous people would be checked from condemning and he did that so that unscrupulous people would be checked from condemning them as illegitimate, greedy cheaters. The second line of verse 92 indicates that if one cheats or deceives others to usurp something for himself, then from the spiritual point of view, that is a fault or sin. Therefore, this act is certainly immoral. But henpecked persons who never fail to externally condemn others' immoral activities of lying, cheating, and deceiving, while they themselves do not hesitate to lie, cheat, and deceive for the pleasure of their dearer than life wives, and furthermore, they openly justify such activities. They even justify such activities. As soon as people hear the statement, Yeno kenapyupayena mana Krishna niveshayet, somehow or other, one must engage his mind in the absolute truth, Krishna. So, as soon as such people hear that statement, these cheaters, or they see the behavior of those who follow the statement, they immediately scream. They say, morality has been transgressed. And in this way, they exhibit their pride. Viprapriya prabhur chitter e katha, ten bar dile purna hoibe sarvatha. Being affectionate to the Brahmanas, the Lord considered, if they are given 3 times, then they will be fully satisfied. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase chitter katha means the purpose of the mind. Ten bar pai sabe harashitaman, shatya kori ar nahi loy kono jan. All the Brahmanas were happy to receive those gifts 3 times, so none of them further tried to cheat. E mata malai chandane guapane, oila ananta marma keho nahi jane. In this way, no one could understand how the Lord was served by Ananta Shesh in the form of garlands, sandalwood paste, and pan. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Ananta in this verse refers to Śrī Shesh Sankarshan, or it may mean innumerable. See following verse 118. Manushe pailo jata she thakuka dure, Prithivite porilo jata she thakuk dure. Prithivite porila jata dite Prithivite porilo jata dite manushere, She jadi prakrita loker she jadi prakrita loker ghare hoy tahate tana pancha vibha nirvahoy. One second. What to speak of the gifts that people received? If the gifts that fell on the ground during distribution were collected, it would have been sufficient for 5 marriages. Just the things that fell on the ground was sufficient for 5 marriages. My God. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase prakrit loker refers to ordinary householders. The amount of garlands, sandalwood, pan, and betel nuts that were left as a waste on the ground during the Lord's marriage would have been sufficient ingredients for completing 5 marriages. Shakaloker chitte hoilo ulas sabe bole dhanya 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 adhivas. Everyone's heart was filled with ecstasy, and they exclaimed, the adhivas ceremony was glorious. Lakeshwar odekhiyachi e navadvipe heno adivasa nahi kore karo bape. We have seen such an okay, it should say we have never seen. The word never is missing. We have never seen such an Adivas ceremony performed even in the houses of the wealthiest men of Navadvip. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Lakeshwar refers to one who possesses 100,000 coins. E mata chandana mala divya guapan akatare keho kabu nahi kore dan. We have never seen anyone distribute sandalwood paste, garlands, and pan so indiscriminately. Tobe Raja Pandita Ananda Chitta Hoya Ailen Adhivasa Samagri Loya. Carrying ingredients for the Adivas ceremony, Sanatan Mishra joyfully arrived. Gaudiya Bhashya. Regarding Adivas and Gandha Sparsha, it is stated in Srimad Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Satkriya Sardipika. Thereafter, the activities of Adivas are described. One should collect suitable ingredients and duly perform the Adivas ceremony, preferably at dusk, or else in the morning. The ingredients of Adivas are clay from the Ganga, sandalwood pulp, a stone, rice paddy, durva grass, flowers, fruits, yogurt, ghee, swastika, sindoor, vermilion, conch, kajal, cow urine, mustard seeds, a piece of gold, a piece of silver, a piece of copper, a ghee lamp, and a mirror. One should also have a fragrant aguru powder, yellow cloth, a brahman thread, a chamar, and a chadar for welcoming the groom. Thereafter, while holding clay from the Ganga in one's hand, one should chant the mantra. Let the auspicious ceremony of Gandha Sparsha, or applying sandalwood, and Adivas be performed. And after offering these items to Lord Vishnu, one should offer them to the bridegroom and bride. It should be done like this everywhere. By chanting mantras, one should therefore have the bridegroom and bride offer prayers. Then one should touch each of the groom's limbs while chanting mantras and offer him 4, 5, or 7 burning ghee lamps. One should perform the Adivas ceremony for a bridegroom and bride according to this procedure. Vipra varga apta varga kori nija shange bahuvidha vadya nritya gita maharange. He came accompanied by brahmanas, family members, musicians, dancers, and singers. Veda vidhi purvaka parama harshamane Ishwarera Gandha Sparsha Koila Shubhakhane. Following the Vedic injunctions, he then happily applied sandalwood pulp to the Lord's forehead at an auspicious moment. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Ishwarere refers to Mahaprabhu Gaurasundar. ততক্ষণে মহাজয় জয় হরি ধ্বনি করিতে লাগিলা সবে mahastuti bani. At that time, there arose tumultuous chanting and glorification of Lord Hari, and everyone began reciting mantras. Pativrata gane deya. What time is it? I'm just. Oh, it's 8:30 now. Okay. Pativrata gane deya jaya jayakar. Vadya gite hoilo mahananda avatar. The chaste women made auspicious sounds of uludhvani. The singing and playing of musical instruments filled the entire house with ecstasy. আপনি উলুধ্বনি করতে পারেন ও সবাই শুনতে চায় ও উলুধ্বনি কি করে হয় আপনি করতে পারেন here we'll hear uludhani here but uludhani করেন আচ্ছা okay anyways she said that she'll do it when we're talking সবাই শুনতে চায় কি কি রকম হয় uludhani আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে করতে হবে না so she's shy okay hey no okay so the chaste women made auspicious sounds of uludhani. The singing and playing of musical instruments filled the entire house with ecstasy. Heno mate kori adivasa shubhakai grihe cholilen sanatana priya raja. After completing the Adivas ceremony, Sanatan Mishra, the king of the Brahmanas, returned home. E mata giya ishvarer aptagane Lakshmire korila adhivasa shubhakhane. Meanwhile, the Lord's family members went to the bride's house to perform the Adivas ceremony there. Ar joto kichu loke lokachar bole donharai shab korilen kutuhale. Family members of both the bride and groom also performed the rituals that were in current practice. Gauriya Bhashya. The word lokachar refers to worldly or traditional family customs or ceremonies that are not based on Vedic injunctions. Tabe suprabhate prabhu kori ganga snan age Vishnu puji gora chandra bhagavan. Early the next morning, the Lord took bath in the Ganga and then worshipped Lord Vishnu. Tabe sheshe sarva apta ganer sahite boshilen nandhi mukha karmadi korite. Thereafter, he sat with his family members to perform the Nandi Mukha ceremony. Okay, this is a long commentary. I think we should stop here. Let's see, what number was I trying to... 136? My God. We didn't even get... We have like 20 more verses. Okay, I'm just going to end here though, because it is now time. It's 8:33, so... Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Gaurahari ki Jai Śrī Viṣṇupriyā Devi ki Jai Gaur Viṣṇupriyā Parinay Utsav Adivas Utsav ki Jai. Ki? Oh, nah, আমি কিছু বলিনি. Oh, and my friend Subal Sakal Brahmachari is reminding me that today is the disappearance day of Bhakti-Vilas Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. I don't know where there's anything written about him though. He was a controversial person in some ways. But he did so much service. He was one of the most prominent disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was so pleased with his huge service, collecting huge amounts of money to build huge temples, putting him in touch with big, like the top like government people, and like he was one of the essential people in the mission of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for really spreading, like in India, making grand temples and all that kind of stuff. So
He brought Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada out to preach.
Wow. Can you explain more?
So when Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur was doing his bhajan, doing his 10 years of chanting, Bhakti-Vilas Tirtha Maharaj would often go and try to bring out to preach. but Prabhupada would say, no, I just want to do bhajan. I just want to do bhajan. And so he tried that. So Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj tried multiple times. But it was only after getting Mahaprabhu's vision, getting after Prabhupada took darshan of Mahaprabhu and got Mahaprabhu's order, that Prabhupada came out to preach. And at that time, he called Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. I'm like, okay, I'm preaching now.
Nice.
At that time, his name was Kunja Bihari Prabhu. Kunja Bihari Vidibhushan Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, like you mentioned, he did a lot of service for Bhakti Saraswati Prabhupada. There's even a will written by Bhakti Prabhupada in English. I don't know why it's in English,
I
but
know why it's
Bhakti.
in English. They explained it to me. It's because in English there is no room for like taking it in a different way. Like in English, it was very exact, and like Bengali is a little bit more vague, and it can like, well, it can mean this or this, and like, but they're like, no, it was written in English. It made it kind of like more official in a way. But yeah,
Acha. So that's why it was written in English. I was wondering
that's what
why did he
devotees
write it in
Prabhupada told me.
English?
Yeah.
Anyway, in Saraswati Prabhupada's will, it says that I want that Bhaktivilas Tirtha Maharaj should be respected as long as he lives. No,
Mm-hmm.
even after he departs.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah.
I want him to be respected forever. That's what Saraswati Prabhupada said.
Wow.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
devotees came and told our Srila Prabhupada that he had entered Nitya Leela, and Srila Prabhupada said, oh, my Guru Maharaj took him back to Godhead.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Wow. Wow. Very nice.
He was put into samadhi and wasn't it? Didn't he put in
Right.
Bhaktisiddhanta's Bhajan Kutir, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was against his wishes.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah, he wrote
I thought that was strange.
my Param Guru Maharaj was very upset about it. How did he said, "What are you doing?" Tirtha Maharaj, Param Guru Maharaj, she said that, "What are you doing?" Tirtha Maharaj wrote here in a letter where he wanted to be put in samadhi, and you're putting him in Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir. And the guys just said, "We're already in pain. Do not bother us further."
Yeah, very
So yeah,
interesting.
it was but no, Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj didn't want to be there. He had already picked out a place for his samadhi.
Hmm. Wow, very interesting. Yeah, I always thought it was strange that samadhi is right there. Yeah. All right. Jai Srila Bhakti Velasquita Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
You know,
Srila
one
Bhakti Maharaj
time,
writes about him a bit, but it's a little bit more like like
who?
it's, your
Oh,
Guru
my Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj?
Yeah, in not he doesn't make a glorification just of him, but he writes about him um, in volcanic energy. That book.
Ah, acha.
Anyways,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. One time, Bhakti Santa Prabhupada was feeling very ill, and he said, call Tirtha Maharaj. And they went, and then they brought Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. And then Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur became very happy. And I don't know what Tirtha Maharaj did, but then Prabhupada started feeling better.
Hmm.
And that because of that, many people sided with Tirtha Maharaj during the Gaudiya Math court cases.
Yeah, I mean during Srila Saraswati Thakur's time, he was like from the very beginning, he was one of the main people. Like, yeah.
I, I
So
even heard
nobody.
that he was his very first disciple, actually.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. So, Jai Ho.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do kirtan and then end our program for today. Oh, and then tomorrow we will hear. Today we read about the Adivas ceremony for the marriage, and tomorrow we'll hear the rest of the rituals of the marriage, like the actual marriage rituals. And yeah, all right. What's that? Chambakti is writing you a question, Kishore.
Oh yes, by Diksha I am Guru Maharaj's disciple by Diksha. By Harinam, I'm Gurudev's disciple.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Viṣṇupriyā, Jai Gaur Viṣṇupriyā, Gaur Viṣṇupriyā, Jai Gaur Viṣṇupriyā. Okay. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga. Oh, do you want to do Jaidvani, Kishore Prabhu?
Jai Sabrikash Shri Guru Gauranga Kana Hari Viga Giri Hari Rar Vinor Bihari Rar Nainath Radharman Bihari Rar Mar Shri Radha Braj Bihari Jiv Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Paramaham Sabre Brajagashari Varya Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigan Bhariti Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Paramaham Sabre Brajagashari Varya Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Vedanta Shana Narayan Goswami Maharaj Pari Pavan Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Balab Tirtha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Harshara Bhakti Viran Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Vedanta Shiladhar Vikram Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Daita Maru Goswami Param Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Param Gurudev Chari Keshari Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Asto Drashta Shishaman Jagar Guru Shri Varshavana Vidaita Dashil Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Mahaparam Bhagavad Parvar Paramahamsa Shishamar Gaur Kishore Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Saptam Goswami Ashtotrashta Shishimat Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashaya Ki Jai. Jai Natyalela Pravishtam Vishnu Par Ashtotrashta Shishimat Vaishnav Sarvoma Shila Jagannath Das Babji Mahashaya Ki Jai. Surya Kundavasi Shila Madhusudan Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Udavadas Udaran Das As Ki Jai. Shri Gauri Viran Acharya Shishil Balidev Vibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. महामहोपतिथ्याय ऋषिकेश्वर मनीषल विष्णु चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जाय। श्रील रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जाय। श्रील रामचंद्र कविराज की जाय। जय श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जाय। शल नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर महाशय श्रीनिवासाचार्य श्यामानंद पंडित प्रभु त्राय की जाय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जाय। विश्वतार अर्का विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जाय। श्री अष्टक विराज वसुत जानवर नित्यानंद दुर्श गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जाय। जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रमानंद लोकनाथ गर्भ आदि गौर परिषद वृंद की जाय। नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्रील ईश्वर परिपाद की जाय। Srila Marvendra Puripad ki jai. Sri Andadweep, Mayapur, Simandweep, Godrumdeep, Madhyadeep, Koludeep, Ritudeep, Janudeep, Madhura Drumadeep, Rudradeep, Matmaka Shri Navdeep Dham ki jai. Sri Ek Chakra Dham ki jai. Shri Shantipur Dham ki jai. Sri Yogapit ki jai. Shri Shachi Mata ki jai. Shri Jagannath Mishra Prabhu ki jai. Shri Gaur Narayan ki jai. Shri Lakshmi Priya Devi ki jai. Shri Viṣṇupriyā Devi ki jai. Jai Shri Gaur Viṣṇupriyā ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Gadadhar ki jai. Shri Gaur Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Gopi Gopa Go Giri Govardhan Dwarashatvanan Maka Shri Braj Mandal Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ganga Sakhi Yamana Sakhi Tulasi Bhakti Devi ki jai. वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधारानी ठाकुरानी की जय. जय श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्र चंपकलता टुंग विद्या इंदलित रंगदेवी सुदेवी अदि सख्य वृंद की जय. श्री अनंग प्रेम मंजलाल श्री रूपलवंग राग विलस गुणरति कस्तरी हरि मंजारी वृंद की जय. श्री कमल मंजरी देवी की जय. श्री नयनमणि मंजरी की जय. श्री विलास मंजरी की जय. श्रीमती बृंद देवी की जय. श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी उमाय देवी की जय. श्री गोपीश्वर श्री शिव महादेव की जय. जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जू की जय. श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय. सर्वा विक्रमिन करे भक्त विक्रमिनाश श्री नरसिंह देव की जय. भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर शिवलाल महाराज की जय. श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव की जय. श्री हरिराम चरि संप्रदाय श्री मध्व जय विष्णु स्वामी निम्बद्याचार्य की जय. आकर्मराज श्री चैतन्य मात की जय. श्री गौरिया मात वृंद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्री मात भगवताम भगवत गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरिय वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय. त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तरक ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय. श्री अनंत करी वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्री समगत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री कशिशनाथ पंडित की जय. श्री बुद्धिमंत कान की जय. जय श्री गौर विष्णुप्रिया की जय. जय श्री गौर विष्णुप्रिया की जय. जय श्री गौर नारायण विष्णुप्रिया देवी की जय. श्री गौर विष्णुप्रिया विवाह की जय. श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय. शील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय. शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय. श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
Vrindaye Tulsidevaya Priyaye Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataye Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Dandavat pranams Nuri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Champak Didi, Kishore Prabhu. And let's see on YouTube and Facebook who's there. There is... Oops, 1 second. Why is it not coming up? There. What the heck? Oh, there it is. Okay. Kuruna Didi, Sudevi Didi, Govinda Saha, and Raseshwari Mataji. Oh, I didn't see you before, Raseshwari Mataji. Okay, Haribol, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So see you all tomorrow to complete the marriage ceremony of Viṣṇupriyā Devi and Śrī Gaurahari. Okay, and in 4 days from now is the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Sri Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. So we'll have a special reading for that. And then Akadashi is in 9 days from now. Other than that, there's nothing really coming up. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj is in a couple weeks from now. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. No, the Jaidwani is fine. Jaidwani is fine. Right, Hare Bol. I like your Jaidwanis. Like the yes. Hari Bol.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes.
It's all complete.
Yes.
Thank you,
Hari Bol.
Prabhu, for the reading. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad
Dandavas,
Pranam.
Raman.
Thank you.
Dandavas to all the devotees.
Hari Bol Bhavatarani Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad. Sorry.
Pranams.